This is take two of my visual devlog. I don't think I was recording the last time, but essentially, what this is a platformer that kind of mimics the movement of a Mario game to a very rudimentary level. It consists of two levels and five scenes, three of which being end game screens. Two for game over, one for winning, and one of them is sorry, and one level for the actual game is a level where you jump from block to block, wall jump, jump across a large pit of lava, and then touch the portal at the very end. It has a camera which follows the player's movement whenever he walks, and it has a portal at the very end for when the player reaches the end, you'll teleport to the second level. The big red girders at the very edges of the game is just a way for the player, if they hug the wall, they won't see the empty unity space. However, it does look really ugly, and it will be changed to something else in the future. Maybe not in this specific project, but in further different iterations of games that I make. So to show you the second level real quick, this is it. This is the I guess underwater level, if you will. It has a kind of Flappy Bird look to it, whereas in this instance it is seaweed instead of pipes, but it has essentially the same kind of idea as Flappy Bird. If you touch it, you will die, and then you get sent back to this beginning, in which you will have your 3 lives to run it through. I do, however, want to learn how to carry lives over from scene to scene. I don't know if I have it in this one, but it's something that I would like to learn. For the scripts, I will quickly just go over them. It's nothing major. It's just something that I can work on, and it will kind of presume as just practice, really. My first thing that I want to I want to talk about between the scripts is I want to talk about the level 1 to 2 and level 2 to windscreen scripts. So these two here. I think that these can be put into one. So instead of having a level 1 to 2 and a level 2 to win, I can just have a portal script, and then I can have the odd trigger enter, and instead of having it on the portals, I can have it on the player instead. So, for example, if it's instead of having this, I can have on my player movement, or just a portal script in general, I can have the same trigger enter, but instead of having it look for the player, it can just look for a portal. So it will be like, if other.gameObject.tag equals portal1, then load C in platform level 2. Same deal with this. If other.gameObject.tag equals to say win portal, C imagine load scene, you win scene, and then I can just place it on the character, and then it will work, I would assume. The swing player movement and the player movement are essentially the same script, except one of them has one of them doesn't have it is grounded boolean. So this would be the play movement.cs. That one has a grounded boolean because it checks to see if the player is on the grass or the stone before they can jump again. I do feel as if this can also be put into one script as well. Instead of perhaps in my actual project for the platform level 2, I can fill this up so it's not just like this, it's not just empty, but rather it has like, I guess, this overlay in it to make it so the player is technically in something. So it technically is grounded, I guess, in a way. So it requires less scripting and less things to load. But for now, I duplicated it because I want it to be separate. However, the player is run off a prefab, so I can put it into a into the scene, and I can also change the scripts around. So for example, in platformer level 2, he has the swimming player movement script. In platformer level 1, the player is shown to have just the player movement script. Very rudimentary, very basic. As the get component for rigid body, and then it kind of just does maths for the velocity and acceleration, for the absolute, so it claims velocity, and then it will change it for the input. Not too sure how to fully explain this, as it is still, I'm still kind of learning this, like the rigid body stuff. This did require some help. I'm not too certain on how everything works in that. For the get key down, left shift, that just does speed, or running speed. So that works as normal, and then the collision for the this is two different collisions. So for one of the player movement, it will have lava and ground and wall. So if it touches the stone, that counts as a wall. If it touches the grass over here, that counts as ground. That also counts as ground, I think. No, they count as wall. The others over here count as ground because I honestly have no idea why. I think I just mistagged them. But essentially, yeah, it works like this. If the game object doesn't hit the ground, then it's no longer grounded, and then it cannot jump. Same goes for the wall. If where is it? If is grounded, yeah. So this stuff counts as grounded. If it doesn't touch the wall or the ground, it's not grounded. If it touches the ground or the wall in a collision enter, it is grounded, and then it's allowed to jump. Alternatively, if you touch the lava, you will be respawned at the respawn point, which is at the very beginning of the level, and then it will -1 to your lives, and if the lives equals 0, then it will load the lives lost screen. That's a done. Scripts. I forgot to remove that one. For the camera for player, very basic. There is one that I'm working on currently, and I'm trying to kind of fully understand that one. But essentially, how it works is, it gets the position of the camera is equal to the position of the object that I'm following, plus the offset. So if I go into the game real quick, I'll show that off. So in the main camera, if I go here and change the offset to 6, it goes right. If I change it to 2, it's, it goes left from what it was, and that was 4. Same goes for this. If I put 20, it goes up. If I put -10 or 109, it goes down. Same goes for this as well. The more negative the value is, the further away it gets in terms of the z-axis. Very easy stuff. This also locks it so I don't get the y. Sorry, so it doesn't follow when it jumps. It's different kind of like, I guess you could say, movements. This is the move texture, so it applies to the lava, which I'll show real quick as well. See right here. lava texture. It's very disorienting in a way, but it does the job for now. It is very disgusting to look at, but it does it quite interestingly. Uh, this is a load game button. So if you lose your lives or run out of time, then it will reset you back to the beginning of the first level. And the timer is the timer at the top, which counts down from 180, I believe, or 100 seconds. Yep. And if it reaches zero, then it shows the game over timeout screen. So for types of sound, I'll just go over it really quickly. There is background music. Through the background music, every game object, I think I could just make that better by having a event game manager object. But yeah, this is all retrospect. This is a complete project technically. I'm not going to be working on this one anymore, and I'm going to be moving on to different projects in the future. So, for example, I'm working on an RPG one which will test animations and inventory systems. Um, Spatial audio for the lava. So, if you get close to the lava, the audio gets louder, and then eventually, if you leave the audio, if you leave the area of the lava, like the further you get away from it, the less you hear it. The more you go next to it, the more you hear it. It's not very good because you still kind of hear it when you go away from the cone of the audio. But lesson learned for next time, I will figure out how to use spatial blending more, or I'll learn how to use it better. Sorry. This goes for both scenes. I would like to add that I was gonna have like a water kind of sound in the background of this, to simulate that the players indeed kind of floating in the water. But I may have forgotten about it because I kind of just wanted to get this done to show that I actually did something and that it was worth my time. By the time that this is uploaded to YouTube, it will be unlisted, and it will be also uploaded to YouTube and my Game Jolt just for development purposes, or just for like looking back at some of the stuff that I did in the past, so I can kind of give an idea of how far I've come. There isn't much that I would say I did amazingly. I would like to add that the whole project was kind of rushed in a way, although it was also something that I used to kind of solidify the stuff that I learned in my game development class, which I've been doing, and also the stuff that I've been doing myself, and stuff that I've just learned and picked across from different types of video games that exist in the kind of game space. Some of which being Mario, as it is heavily inspired, and I guess to some extent it's just a run of the mill platformer. It's just, as I said, it is just a platformer. Though it is just very small, it just requires little effort by the player. Although it does require some level of control. Known bugs, known glitches. This comes with the stuff here. This is still open, so sometimes it won't jump. This happens with some of them as well. With this one, you can see it's still kind of open, which lets the player get stuck in it, and then lets the player not be able to jump. Right here again. That's kind of closed in, but if you go a bit further in, this one is just a little bit glitchy. These two are very glitchy, and they don't let the player go as smoothly as possible. I would like to learn how to retexture them better. This is just asset flipped textures. because I don't know how to actually like do it. Besides the fact that like the bug is a bit, I guess, not very in the way, or like it doesn't look like it's much of a deal. The fact that the player does stop in its tracks, it loses the fluidity of the movement, and it also makes it so the player is not able to jump because sometimes it just won't count it as grounded. To counteract this, I think in the future I'd like to use a raycast instead of an is grounded, and a completely hard coded is grounded variable, as I think the raycast is probably just a lot more viable, or like a lot more like stable in the long run. So I don't have to worry about like continually waiting and seeing if this is for the is grounded boolean to check itself or untick itself if I'm not on the ground. Other glitches and stuff that I should mention is very little. It is a very small game and it is open to like a lot of feedback. I don't think there is anything amazing of it. It's just a project that I can put together and see if I can use my skills to make a proper game. This is just something that I will use as guidelines in the future to show what I should and shouldn't do. There's a lot that I shouldn't be doing in this one, and that will start with the blocks that I use to jump on. Specifically these ones. Honestly, these ones are perfectly fine as they're just one single block. If these were if these were only one, then I don't think they would have the issue. But the textures would be stretched completely. Other than that, I think that it is completely fine to run. This gets a little bit slow, and I don't know why. But whenever I touch the trophy, I think it's the hitbox actually. But if I go to here and I have a look at the box collider, it is definitely it. So that would be why if I make it a bit bigger, that it should account for the player touching it. So that's been fixed. This is the only fix that will happen. Nothing else will be done to it. This is the final product, and I'm kind of happy. I would like to learn how to carry the lives over, so instead of having 3 lives in the next level as well, it'll have, if you lose a life here, it'll have 2 lives in the next one. For gameplay, I will now show a little bit. I think that this is probably a good indicator of how far I've come. It's nothing major, but I am quite excited with the progress. So here's the game. The lighting is a bit messy as well. I do think that this is something that I need to work on as well. I don't know why the lighting is like that, but I think it's got to do with yeah, right there, that was a glitch. But I think it's got to do with maybe I turn the lighting down a little bit. Sound effects, I would like to add on the jumping maybe. But so far, I think this is an okay thing that I worked on. You can sprint in the water, but it is a little bit tricky to kind of keep in check sometimes. You can move on the ground as well, and you can jump multiple times in air. I think this can all be put into one script. I'll be completely honest, but it's a kind of work in progress game. Not really a work in progress game. This is the full release of it, but the game itself was fun to work on. I do believe that the game could have some different things that I can work on doing better. Specifically like save states. That would be good. If I just show here, like I'd be able to like save my lives. So on the next run, if I end up which is really annoying. But like it'll just make it so it stops running. Happens a lot. But yeah, on like the next level, if I don't just drag it over actually, just so you guys can see. Yep. So I like to be able to save lives and move over. This is the issue with my light source. I don't know why it showed itself in this rather than like the finished product, but I'm glad that didn't, because it would be a bit of an issue. And then there's the windscreen. Final thoughts, verdicts, and things that I would like to work on. I would like to work on movement, so it's a lot smoother and something that I can understand a bit more, rather than just being like the rudimentary, I guess, walk backwards, forwards, left, right, and have it just come to a screeching halt whenever I let go. I like to learn texturing, so I don't have this issue where it's three separate blocks and then it all just kind of like works sometimes or works not at all. Save states. Not really saving the game at this moment in time, as I think that is something that I need to work towards rather than something that I need to that I can just implement. But I want to be able to make it so the lives save as I swap to the next scene. Other than that, I think that this product was very very fun to work on. It was very interesting to see what I know and what I don't know, and I hope that the people at Game Jolt and I guess the people who will see this on YouTube look forward to the stuff that I can further produce. It won't be too amazing, but it will definitely be different to this, more specifically an RPG take, because that is what I want to work towards. Thank you for watching. This is my 20-minute devlog of me just rambling on about my game in general, my thoughts, and my wants and needs. There'll be more from the future, more in the future from me. This is Timon, and thank you all for watching.